So I opened my eyes to the streets where I was raised as a man. I learned to use my hand for protection and scuffles, throwing my blows in doubles. I'm coming from Queens, motherfucker, carrying guns and couples and wildin'. A QU soldier from left rack to Rockaway, back to Queensbridge, black is only crack sales making niggas act like that. Back in the day we could scrap, now you lay in your back. Things changed with time, I traded in my knuckles for a Mac 10. I learned to learn to live a life of crime with my Bed-Stuy connection, connecting me too. Shit on the streets gets too wild for you, so peace to Baisley, 40p, get down. And when you're out of town, represent your ground. Niggas bleed just like us, show them where you come from, Queens. Keeping niggas done, son. Yeah, man. They used to teach us the done language. Remember that? Infamous. Mobb Deep, man. R.I.P. to Prodigy. I've been listening to Prodigy for so long, man. At least that I knew it back in '92 when I got that first Mobb Deep album with Peer Pressure and Hold It Down, Hit It From the Back, and all the young shit when they was on 4th and Broadway. You know what I mean? Come to find out, I was listening to him before that because recently I figured out that he was the young rapper on the High Five song Too Young on the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. So I was a fan of Prodigy way before I even knew it. You know what I'm saying? But when Infamous came out, I was hooked. And that verse I just kicked was from a song called QB Hectic. It brings back memories because I remember when Mobb Deep came to Houston promoting that record, promoting the Infamous. You know what I mean? They had Shook Ones Part 1 and Shook Ones Part 2 out. And I think that's all the videos they had out so far. You know what I'm saying? And I think Survival of the Fittest. You know what I mean? And I think Up North Trip was on Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood soundtrack or whatever the case may be. But those are the songs we were hearing from them. So they came to Houston and we was in a cypher. And I remember Prodigy was complaining how his arm was hurting him because him and Havoc got in a wrestling match in the hotel room, and Havoc slammed him and shit. And he's like, man, my arm's hurting me, man, fucking with Havoc and shit. The dude slammed me on my shoulder, and now my shoulder's hurting. I found that funny, you know what I'm saying? But you could tell it was like a lot of brotherly love there. But we was in the cypher, and he kicked that verse. And I'm like, oh, man, and we was all freestyling. In particular, me, the brethren GT. He goes by GT Main right now. He's on 97.9 The Box in Houston. The twins I used to roll with called the Madhouse was in the cypher. And I think it was just them. So it was just us in the cypher. And Prodigy kicked that verse, and I'm like, man, that shit is ill, especially if it's off the top. You know what I mean? And I remember buying the album and it coming to that song. And I heard the verse. And at that time, I never knew that people like kick verses from their albums for freestyles and ciphers and shit like that. But that happens all the time. The more I got in the music industry, the more I realized that happens all the time. They kick it on the radio. They do it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not that uncommon. But I always love that verse. That's one of my favorite Mobb Deep songs of all time. And you know what I'm saying? It's sad to hear this news that Prodigy is no longer with us. You know what I'm saying? I still follow him to this day. I have all his albums. I have all the Mobb Deep catalog in my collection. You know what I'm saying? And I think I was just listening to Infamous at work. Infamous Hell on Earth and Murder Music at work the other day, you know what I'm saying, while I was working. And, you know, this is shocking to me. This is very shocking to me, but not really. Because if you've been following Mobb Deep's career, you know that Prodigy was battling sickle cell since he was born. You know what I mean? Me personally, I felt that he had it under control with his diet, his lifestyle, his healthy lifestyle was helping him control it, and he had many more years to go. But unfortunately, it wasn't so, and it wasn't meant to be, man. So R.I.P. to Prodigy. Shout out to his family who's mourning him right now. You know what I'm saying? His kids, his wife or ex-wife, his mom if she's still living. You know what I'm saying? all the people that love Prodigy, man. Havoc, you know what I'm saying, his partner in rhyme for so long. You know what I mean? Shout out to all those people, man, who are mourning Prodigy right now, man. And he will be greatly missed, you know what I'm saying, as a soloist and part of the group Mobb Deep, man. That's all I got to say, man. Peace. I'm out.